Hello, everyone, welcome to my channel. Today we are going to take a trip back in time and imagine what Antarctica was like before it was frozen. Did you know that Antarctica was not always a continent covered with ice and snow? Millions of years ago, it was a green, warm and full of life place. Let's find out. This is Antarctica today, the coldest, driest and most isolated continent on the planet. It is located at the South Pole, about 15,000 kilometers from Brazil, and has an area of almost 14 million square kilometers, equivalent to almost twice the size of Brazil. It is covered by a layer of ice that reaches more than 4 kilometers thick, and that contains about 70% of all the fresh water in the world. The average temperature in Antarctica is minus 49 degrees Celsius, and can reach minus 89 degrees Celsius in winter. Therefore, few living beings can survive there, such as some types of penguins, seals, whales and algae. But this is not the Antarctica of always. About 200 million years ago, Antarctica was part of a supercontinent called Gondwana, which was closer to the equator. Gondwana was formed by the union of Africa, South America, Australia, India, and Arabia. At that time, Antarctica had a milder climate, with defined seasons, regular rains and temperatures that ranged between 10 degrees Celsius and 20 degrees Celsius. Therefore, it was covered by forests, rivers, lakes and swamps, and housed a great diversity of plants and animals. This would be the vegetation of Antarctica before it was frozen. As you can see, there is no ice, snow, or rocks. There are trees, shrubs, ferns, mosses and flowers, which form dense and humid forests. Some of these plants still exist today on other continents, such as the araucaria, the pine, the ginkgo, the hemlock, and the magnolia. Others, however, are extinct, such as the Glossopteris, a plant with tongue-shaped leaves, which was the most common in ancient Antarctica. And this would be the difference between the vegetation of the higher and lower regions of Antarctica. As you can see, in the higher regions, where the climate was colder and drier, the plants were smaller, more creeping and more spaced, such as the mosses, the ferns and the shrubs. In the lower regions, where the climate was warmer and wetter, the plants were larger, taller and more grouped, such as the trees, the flowers and the Glossopteris. What a variety, isn't it? This would be the fauna of Antarctica before it was frozen. As you can see, there are no penguins, seals or whales. There are dinosaurs, reptiles, amphibians, fish and insects, which lived in the forests, rivers, lakes and swamps. Some of these animals still exist today on other continents, such as the crocodile, the turtle, the salamander, the manatee and the dragonfly. Others, however, are extinct, such as the Cryolophosaurus, a dinosaur with a crest on its head, which was the largest predator of ancient Antarctica. And this would be the difference between the fauna of the higher and lower regions of Antarctica. As you can see, in the higher regions, where the climate was colder and drier, the animals were smaller, more adapted and more solitary, such as the reptiles, the amphibians and the insects. In the lower regions, where the climate was warmer and wetter, the animals were larger, more diversified and more social, such as the dinosaurs, the fish and the manatees. How amazing, huh? Conclusion: well, folks, I hope you enjoyed this video, where we showed what Antarctica was like before it was frozen. As you could see, it was a very different place from what it is today, with a more pleasant climate, a more lush vegetation and a more surprising fauna. It was a true paradise on Earth, until the climatic and geological changes transformed it into what we know today. Therefore, we must take care of our planet, so that it no longer undergoes changes that could harm life on it. Don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe to the channel.